Welcome to the Firepower Podcast, a show about where friends chat about Firepower, a comic book series by Robert Kirkman, Chris Somney, Matt Wilson, and Russ Wooten. I am your host, Charlie, and today I am joined not by Bash, actually. A little bit of a different intro today, but I'm joined by my friend Ali, as always. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. It's been a while since we got on the Firepower Pod. It's always worth a reread. Always a pleasure to talk with you. And we're going to be missing Bash today, but we got the special oversized 12th issue spectacular with a whopping 15 variant covers. So, yeah, we got a lot of Firepower to get into today.
Yeah, like you said, 15 variant covers, just absurd amount of covers. But actually some really awesome ones.
Some of them are really cool. I definitely don't have all of them. I think I have like 4 or 5.
Yeah, I would say I have around that as well. What I know you had that question yourself. It was on my mind too. But what's your personal favorite?
My favorite is cover C by Mindy Lee. It's the one where Wei Lun is like kind of on one knee on the floor with the staff and the Jordan ones, the red and black Jordan ones on like in the bottom. That's probably my favorite one. And my close second is cover E by McFarlane. I love McFarlane.
You know? Yeah, no, that's a good show. And did we get that answer from Bash? I'm not sure. I know he texted the group chat about his favorite.
No, he hasn't replied to me. If he does,
we'll shout it out. But I think my personal favorite. I'm just a sucker for any retro variant. Like all the Radiant Blacks. Those are always my favorite. All those I'll pick up. So this one, right when I saw Firepower had a retro, I was just like, it was kind of just a must for me. So yeah, I got that, and but yeah, no, this super action-packed issue, and can't wait to get into this.
Just real quick too, they got a lot of big names to do these. We got like Frank Quietly,
like said,
Todd McFarlane, Rob Liefeld, Frank Miller has one too, Eric Larson. So they went all out for this issue.
They really did. And this was kind of past my time, like getting into it. I wasn't really into the series getting it at this point, so I wasn't really kind of in the shops kind of during this time. But yeah, there was definitely a lot of covers and a lot of awesome ones. But yeah, real quick before the issue, I want to quickly do the previously on, just because it's been a while, a little refresher for us and the listeners too, maybe. So so previously on Firepower, the war between the Scorched Earth clan and the Temple of the Flaming Fist has begun. After being shot out of the sky, Owen battled the Dragon's Claw, only to recognize Ling Zan fighting alongside him. In the midst of battle, Ma Guang appealed to his former temple allies to see how they've been missiled and to turn on Xiao Fang. Overwhelmed by the combined attack of Wei Lun and Chen Zul, Xiao Fang commanded Master Sha's statue to rise in the temple's darkest hour of need. And that was a pretty huge cliffhanger there. So yeah, what do you think kind of about like the end of last issue, kind of leading kind of right into the start of this issue?
They've been teasing this since the prelude with the statue and the dragon. It's always been something, at least for me, in the back of my mind, like, when is this going to happen? And there was kind of two sides to it, right? There's the Wei Lun, Xiao Fang side, where like they're full true believers. They truly believe in all the myths that they've been talking about at the temple. And then we have the Owen side, where he's not really fully on board with all these things existing. He even broke into the temple, right? Into the not the temple, but like the dragon room before, and he didn't find anything. So it's been this fun line that Kirkman's been walking between, like, is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? You know, we don't know. So once again, in issue 12, it starts with Xiao Fang and Wei Lun both staring at the statue, waiting for it to come to life. And then Xiao Fang kind of gets like sick of waiting for it to come to life and runs to the dragon temple.
Been pretty patient though, for the time being. I was just curious, kind of thinking there, like how many panels have we seen of like just this
Oh, so
dude's
many.
face, like just kind of just waiting to come out. So no, this was like, but for me, this issue felt like it had kind of big stakes. So I was almost like expecting it in a way,
Yep.
but at the same time, it's Kirkman, so it's like you can't be too surprised. He does like to play the long game.
You know, now that you mention it, I'm wondering if Chris Samney is more sick of drawing Jordans or the statue at this point.
That's a good question, actually.
Yeah.
Oh man, no, so yeah, like you said, they're like Wei Lun and Xiao Fang. They're both like true believers here. So yeah, Xiao Fang, he kind of leaves the statue. He's like, screw this, like he's going to go and awaken the dragon, I guess. So Wei Lun's like, oh, we got to stop him. And I just love this little panel in that first page, like Owen just side eyeing Wei Lun, like, oh shit, like he's like, oh, like stuff's about to go down. Like we gotta get into action here. But yeah, this next scene of like this whole dragon chamber, like we've seen a little of it. We got a little glimpse of it. Like I think Owen, when he snuck in, he was thrown out pretty quick. Like like they didn't want him seeing anything what was inside. So it was kind of cool getting a better look at it here.
It's funny too because when Owen went in there the first time and Wei Lun was like scolding him, he was like, "Did you say anything? Did you utter a word?" You know, as if like just saying something will awaken the dragon. And then Xiao Fang comes in and he says, "quote unquote," like the special word, "arise." And I love those 3 panels where you see his arm slowly fall down and his face slowly fill with despair at nothing happening.
Yeah, and yeah, you see Wei Lun too. He's super surprised. Like he just charges in. He's like, it's too late. Like he's already spoke. We're done. Like everyone's done for. And then he's nothing's happening. Like what do we do? So that was kind of surprising in a way. But I guess I think when Owen went in there last time, we saw a little glimpse of the room and there was nothing in there. So it was kind of
it was empty. It's literally just that well of water. So it's funny to me because it feels like when kids grow up and they start learning that Santa isn't real, you know?
Yeah. No, that's
exactly what it feels like.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. And similar reaction there. See the face on Wei Lun, just shell shock there. Wasn't too happy to find out that wasn't the case. But yeah, this well here, this whole scene, and they talk about this kind of later on, but this was just awesome the way Somni laid it out. Like his layouts are always awesome, but this was a tough scene to do. Like they dive in the well, and just the way he's diving, like they go straight down and they end up kind of like on the other side, but like they just keep swimming down. Like it's kind of it's really well done.
I'm assuming neither Wei Lun or Xiao Fang knows where it ends or how deep it is. Like I would think that they've never been in there before. So
you would
think to them as it is to Owen.
Yeah, you would definitely think so. And what was your initial reaction to this huge splash page here? This big sand dome here. Do you think it was an island, or what do you think was going on?
I thought it was an island too.
Yeah.
See, I think this might have been like the second or third issue that I read as it came out, and I was so excited to see the dragon. And obviously, they come, they sit on the island, they start fighting a little bit, and Xiao Fang is like super disappointed that nothing's happening.
Yeah, it honestly looks like a place where the dragon would just like be sitting, right? Like it looks like like a nest for him or something.
Part of me thought too that it might be like the dragon's back or something, or like its tail. Like part of it is kind of over the water. It could have been that too, but it actually just looks like a mound of sand because I just noticed they left footprints as they walk up.
They did leave footprints, but then we do get a little something later on that will go through there too. A little hint that I think kind of showed us a little more about that. But yeah, no, this whole action scene was just like kind of intense, just because of how like defeated Xiao Fang was. Like he was just kind of like done with it. So you don't know like he must be pretty angry at this point. Like he's just like he's lost everything almost.
Yeah, he has nothing to lose anymore. He's like you said, he's lost everything. There's one line here that really stuck out to me where Wei Lun says, "I'm sorry you lost your way. Even more sorry you lost your way for nothing, old friend." And then Xiao Fang says, "I was never your friend," as he tries to sideswipe him. And that's interesting to me because when we first met Xiao Feng in the prelude, like, yeah, he was kind of a hard ass and like very strict with the students, but we never thought that he was necessarily evil or that he hated Wei Lun. But apparently, he's hated him this whole time, and I guess he's been plotting like his demise this whole time, the past 15 years, even before that, before Owen got to the temple. There's been like this underlying hatred of Wei Lun that he had.
Yeah, for sure. And also too, we really get actually rereading through the RC Coda, you kind of like, I see it a little more here, but this bottom panel, kind of when they're fighting and you see like kind of Owen and Wei Lun kind of like doing that firepower motion together, really just really goes back to that prelude and them just practicing on that log, like on that concrete slab or whatever. Like them just trying that, but obviously Wei Lun can't do it, so he just kind of has the punch out, and then Owen brings in the fire, and hits him pretty good. But yeah, no, we know how strong Xiao Feng is. He just eats it up like nothing. It was crazy.
Like you said, Wei Lun asks him, "What are you fighting for? You have nothing left." And Xiao Feng finally comes to that realization. He's like, "Yeah, everything's a lie," and he kind of just gives up.
Yeah, for sure. And actually, this page really shows it off too. But yeah, no Jordans in this issue, as it's mentioned later on. But the layout, especially on this next page here, after Xiao Feng like eats the fire, like you could see he's like almost cut off the shoes.
Oh,
like,
he definitely did that on purpose.
In a way, so he did have to draw them, which is very subtle. I didn't even notice until just reading later on, but that's just kind of a funny touch there. But yeah, Xiao Feng just still kind of in disarray, just trying to figure out like what to do, because like his whole life, like everything he's dedicated his life to is just like a complete lie. So he's not sure what to do. But yeah, as they travel back with Xiao Feng kind of defeated, he doesn't even have footsteps, like they're dragging him through, like they're dragging him back through the sand. But you see like through the footprints and Xiao Feng's footprints, you see some dragon scales.
Yep. I was so hyped when I saw that. I remember when I first finished reading this issue, I texted Bash so quick. I was like, there are scales. It's real. Yeah. And it is. I mean, I guess they're definitely heavily hinting at it at this point. Like at this point, I was a full believer in the dragon. I didn't understand why it didn't come, why it didn't wake up, why the statue was still there, but I was a full believer that there is a dragon hiding under there.
yeah, no, for sure. And yeah, just definitely an iconic moment for the series for sure, and leads into honestly one of my favorite pages of this whole issue, which is pretty crazy. We just get another double page spread. We actually got quite a few in this issue. Being oversized kind of makes sense, but we see kind of the whole Temple of the Flaming Fist kind of rallying around what appears to be Wei Lun, just kind of like stepping up for him and like cheering for him in a way, which is kind of surprising.
Yeah, clearly Xiao Feng's sentiment or like hatred of Wei Lun was not shared by the general population of the temple. They're all very excited to have him back. I'm pretty sure they enjoyed their time at the temple when Wei Lun was its leader.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Like probably the whole time they were kind of just kind of biting their finger under Xiao Feng. And it was pretty brutal leader, to be honest.
Yeah,
he didn't go easy on anyone. But yeah, no, he and Wei Lun just kind of surprised here too, like just such a humble guy.
Because he left disgrace too. Like he left the temple not on his own terms, I guess. So it's definitely nice for him to see the love that his disciples have for him. And a quick little detail that I missed both times on my first read and the reread, I only recognized it from the RC Coda. If you look at the top right, there's the little basketball hoop. Not little, it's huge. The basketball hoop, and they mentioned RC Coda, isn't it like 40 feet up in the air? And if you've read the prelude, it makes sense why it's so high.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense why it's so high. And I think is it next? I believe it's next issue, or I think in the next coming issues we do get a little more basketball, if I'm not wrong. But don't quote me on that. But I believe we do. But yeah, no, basketball in the series is always just a fun touch. If it's the shoes, the game, like seeing these just like absolute ninjas playing basketball and jumping on a 40-foot rim, it's always always a blast to see. But yeah, no, kind of cutting like leading into this like next page here, like he's surprised all the troops are like kind of gathering around him, or all kind of like the normal students from the temple, but it's kind of a bigger surprise to see. I forget what this team is called, but like all
Scorched
the
Earth Clan.
Yeah, like like the Scorched Earth clan, but like just now he has everyone. Like he has both sides now.
Yeah,
which is actually like super huge. So it's kind of like at this point, it's like it's kind of like a satisfying conclusion in a way. So it's but we always know Kirkman always has something around the corner to set something else up. And we saw those dragon scales. So yeah, so much more is coming.
Absolutely.
You guys have no idea. But yeah, we see some more butterflies too in this next issue here. What do you think of this next sequence? The kind of the reunite of Ling Zan and Owen here.
It's been a long time coming, and I feel like it was necessary to put this in this issue. It was almost bittersweet. I think that's the perfect way to describe it, because they haven't seen each other in about 15 years, if not more. At this point, how Owen thought she was dead. He thought Ling Zan was dead. So seeing her back, and the way he looks at her too, in the bottom panel of the first like encounter between them, you could see almost like the sparkle in his eyes. He's so elated that he gets to see his old love alive and well. But it quickly goes sideways. She says, you have a family now. That wasn't really my body that you saw. Those were my ashes that you spread. So basically more lies, more deceit, except this time it's really personal for Owen.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this was definitely a tough pill to swallow for him.
Yeah.
It was like shocking when he found out, but it's just like it's so tough. Like the hardest part is like they ended off on good terms. Like they never had a falling out or anything. Like she was kind of just ripped away.
He never even got to say goodbye.
Yeah, he never got to say goodbye or anything. So it's super tough. But yeah, I love all the butterflies we see here.
Yeah.
Kind of like we've seen a lot throughout this whole series, but just this whole page of them talking is just kind of filled with this.
Speaking of the butterflies, to me in this book they symbolize hope. And it's weird including this many butterflies here. Like, is Kirkman trying to tell us that there is hope that they may rekindle their relationship or not? Like, to me, that was a little bit of a mixed message. I'm not sure where it's going to go.
Yeah, that is a good point.
Because clearly they both still have love for each other. I mean, when Owen goes away, you can see he's sad, and Ling Zan is literally crying. So
yeah, for sure.
We'll see. It's definitely going to be an interesting dynamic to explore later on.
Yeah, for sure. And I love too. I at this point too, like I kind of like I felt bad for Owen, but I genuinely like didn't think he was gonna like, I don't know, like cheat or anything, like just because kind of the conversation he has kind of in the previous issues
with Kelly,
just,
right?
Yeah, with Kelly, just saying like, yeah, like I was with her through like all this kind of horrid stuff, and we're the only people kind of like just holding each other together, but like we still love each other, and we've been through all this stuff, like they have kids, like they've gone through all this hardship, and they've still stuck together. So that just shows kind of the difference of the relationships there. But yeah, this is still super tough for
it's weird too, because like you said, they never had closure, right? So it's not like he had a chance to get over Ling Zan or fully like process those feelings he had for her. It was one day it's just like, okay, she's dead, and then he's back to
guess I gotta move on
America, starting a new family. Yeah, it's a weird dynamic. I personally don't know how I would react if I was in that situation. It's very unique.
Yeah, it's definitely a pickle to say the least. But yeah, no, they're having this conversation, and eventually Owen, like he just kind of says, like, was what we had, like, was it ever real? And yeah, like you said, yeah, you have your life now, you're married, with 2 children, like you were saying earlier, and but she says, I'm very happy for you. And they kind of just like, he looks at her, and she just kind of walks away crying. So yeah, definitely a tough moment here, and a lot of dark colors in this, a lot of somber colors in this whole issue. Like we get a lot of dark colors, but kind of like leading into these like just dark purple, and it's kind of like a grayish purple. Like it's just super somber. But yeah, no, it's great stuff. But yeah, kind of on the next page too, we get Wei Lun here, kind of with his scorched earth buddies here, and Owen's like just comes up and just is pissed. He's like, what's wrong with you? Like how couldn't you tell me she was alive? So and then he makes a really good point here. He says, Owen, please, like, can you not admit that you wish you still didn't know she was alive? What'd you think of that line? I thought that was pretty powerful.
I think it makes sense, because knowing she's alive, I guess, like, it's nice that his friend, this person he loved, is still alive, but it brings back all these feelings, and it makes him confused, makes her confused. They're both upset by the way they ended their conversation. So I guess in a way, ignorance is bliss, right? That's what they say. So
yeah,
if he had no idea she was alive, he would have been very happy that the war is over and that he could get back to his family, get back to his normal life. But now this is another problem that he has to deal with, something else he has to keep thinking of.
Yeah, and yeah, then we got Owen here saying like he doesn't think he can handle any more secrets from Wei Lun. So that's a pretty interesting and telling line. So hopefully Wei Lun takes it easy on him in the future. So yeah, and then kind of he says it's time to go back to your family. So it's back to these bright colors here, back to Kelly and the family. And I just love the transition here, and really just changes the tone of the book right away. And we get Doug, and we get the kids training with Kelly here, and they're definitely improving. You can really see it. And yeah, and Haley's out training. We've always known Doug's always been he's always trained like the hardest.
Yeah, he's been way more enthusiastic about it.
Yeah, he's been way more enthusiastic, but it just, I don't know. It seems in a way like Haley might be more of a natural in a way, or she has her own skills for sure. They have. I just really like their dynamic. But yeah, we get the reappearance, I guess, of I don't know her name, the demon snake lady.
Yeah,
that was on the plane. That jumped off the plane in that amazing sequence. So yeah, what do you think of her reappearance?
It was scary, man, because this time there's no Owen to help. It's just her and Kelly. Even the kids are like, they've been practicing whatever. They want to join in the fight. They want to help their mom, but this isn't just the regular martial arts person. This is like something mystical in there too, with the snakes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, this isn't no practice anymore. So that they get
and ready. Kelly knows it too. She wastes no time. She just pulled that gun, bam, bam. The thing just burst into snakes.
Yeah. She they tried to fight it off for a little bit, but I guess she didn't. I don't know. She could have went for the gun right away, I guess. But yeah, they actually do fight for a little bit, and they all kind of get the crap kicked out of them, and then she pulls out the gun. So yeah, maybe it was in her boot. It was in her boot, and she couldn't get to it at the time. So yeah.
It was in her boot. You're right.
We'll say that. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, no, it actually was. That was just kind of my headcanon, but leg, I think that's actually kind of happened.
Okay, that's spot on.
Sweet, it worked out. Okay, so yeah, and then we see a lot of the snakes just dead here. All these snakes, just reappearing everywhere, just showing up everywhere. And then we get the return of Owen, just nonchalant, coming in here and like nothing happened. Oh, it's all over, and just like comes in. Did he see any of this happen?
I don't think.
No.
I don't think
I think he probably. I took it as he kind of came later after that. So yeah,
I want to ask you, when he's hugging the kids and the bottom two panels, she's looking at him and he's looking at her, and they're both kind of like apprehensive, upset. But I think they're both feeling different things, right? Like Kelly just fought for her and her children's life, and I think Owen is thinking about Ling Zhang. That's how I took it, at least. Like they're both apprehensive, but about different things.
Okay, yeah, that's a good shout. I actually didn't even take it that way, but now that you say it, I could totally see that. Like, how could he not?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I also think too, like now, like Kelly's just been okay with this like the whole time. Like she's been so good. She knows what she's gotten herself into with this life and all the dangers it can bring to her kids, to her family. But now, like, and it's attacked the kids before, but like you said, like Owen wasn't there this time, and like, and I think she kind of just was like, okay, like this is real. Like these kids are actually in real danger here. I think this is kind of where it really hits her, and she's kind of just sweating here.
Yeah, it's weird because usually they're after Owen, but this time they came for her and the kids.
Yeah, that's true. So I guess and Haley, she had a little sense of the firepower before. So yeah, that's kind of that's a little telling there. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, no, this next page too. Yeah, we get some cool stuff. Just more back and forth with Owen and just Wei Lun just talking and saying no matter what, like we're always gonna be ready.
Yeah, they have no idea about the snakes. No one knows anything about the snakes. Not even Chen Zhou. No one knows anything. It's just
which is strange. Which is very strange.
Another mystery.
Yeah, a lot of mysteries going on here. But yeah, then get some more awesome shots on the water next issue or next page here, and he's just awesome. Just this book just looks, just the way they transition the colors, we always say, is just
gorgeous.
Just gorgeous. It's really incredible. But yeah, we get them on the water with the pink skies there, kind of ready to set out. And Wei Lun kind of says like farewell. He's gonna stay on the island, and he's sending the family back. And you see Ling Zan there, kind of off in the distance. You see her silhouette in one of the panels, and then you see her close face just kind of lurking in the distance. And Owen has his eye on her.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely heartbreaking. But then we get the return of Peanut Butter though. It's been a while.
Everybody's more excited for Peanut Butter than Grandpa.
Oh, exactly. Peanut Butter just leaping out of the that was funny. Just so excited to see the family, and he's like, I always forget the dog beats the grandpa, and then they said grandma, and then he's like, okay, I'm kind of at the bottom of the totem pole here, but he's accepted it at this point. But no, it's kind of just, this is a really interesting transition here, especially like just the kind of like the story points here, like Haley comes in and it's kind of just like after all this chaos, like just they're supposed to just settle down and go back to normal, I guess.
It's definitely weird. It's definitely going to be weird for them. And then Reggie's there, he's telling them he took care of everything, covered for Kelly at the precinct and covered for the kids at school. And then they ask Reggie, did you kill Tyler? He gives them this look, but nobody believed poor Tyler. Yeah, this guy is traumatized for life, and nobody's going to believe him.
Yeah, I'm just glad no one got them. They set that dude up, and we're lucky he didn't die. Like, they just dropped him in the path of a bunch of murderous assassins. But he's safe and sound now. But no, this is kind of funny. But no, just a great dynamic. Reggie and Kelly too. Like they're always fun.
And as you mentioned, in the next page, when Owen and Kelly are kind of having a heart-to-heart, decompressing, going through everything, Kelly says, I don't think things will ever truly be like they were. And it's true. It's hard to come back from something as life-changing as this.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like they're kind of like like we've said, like, yeah, Owen wasn't there, so it's like anything could happen now. It's just so uneasy and everything. And then another kind of interesting thing to add to your point earlier, we see kind of the butterfly flying away here, kind of out in the distance after hugging Kelly here, but we see the butterfly just flying away. So yeah, that's kind of
they're playing both ways, Kelly and Ling Zhang.
Yeah, they are.
We'll
yeah, they are for sure. But yeah, then I guess kind of closing out this issue here. Kind of we go back to the temple, and we just got Wei Lun here. He firepower is rediscovered. Your disciples are in chains. He's talking to Master Shaw here, the statue. Yeah. He said, "You are a myth, just a lifeless stone. Such a disappointment." And he just throws on his beats and just he's on his way. And then we see the another snake being attracted here to Master Shaw. So this was definitely a crazy cliffhanger. Definitely a head scratcher for sure. When I first read this, I was like, "What the heck is?"
Because at this point, I'm like, my first time I read this, I'm like, "What do the snakes have to do with Master Shaw and the dragon?" Right?
Yeah,
it all comes together pretty soon.
Yeah, pretty soon, and even a little more. And it's just kind of a bonus of reading this bonus content in the back. You get a little insight on some of the stuff too. Like some stuff is cleared out, and like some good points are brought up too. So yeah, this was just an incredible just heartfelt issue, like just super heavy with that, like Ling Zan just kind of reconnection with Owen. Like it's definitely been a long time coming, but just knowing that like Ling Zan knows, like, yeah, it's never gonna work, and Owen knows it's never gonna work. It's just kind of like, it's just heartbreaking. But yeah, definitely a much needed issue for sure. How'd you like this one overall?
Oh, it was great. It was great, from the art to the action to the emotional beats. It was great.
Yeah, for sure.
I just wish I had more Jordans. That's all.
Yes. That is the only big thing it was missing here. But yeah, that could have taken a lot of time. This being like an exercise issue. Just could be more Jordans. Could have been their opportunity to put in even more Jordans. So on the other hand, but I know that's probably not going to happen.
No, I mean, if looking at the RC Coda, which also is a supersized RC Coda.
Yeah.
The first page is literally just and there's a guest this time, Jason Mantzoukas.
Yeah, Jason Mantzoukas. Yeah,
go ahead.
Are you familiar with Jason?
I'm not. No, I'm not.
He is he voiced he was in he's a big voice actor for sure, but he plays he's in Big Mouth. Like he plays Andrew.
Bro, I love Jason Mantzoukas because I just had no idea that
Andrew
was his name. That's Rexplode.
Yeah, Rexplode,
Invincible.
Yeah,
so cool.
No, he's iconic. So
wow.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun guest to have on.
Oh, he's hilarious.
He's hilarious. So kind of now kind of like if you ever read through this, you got to hear that.
I gotta reread it again in his voice.
Hear that in the Rexplode voice, but no, it's just it's I loved his addition being on this RC Coda, but his just kind of admiration and love for this series and just comics as a whole. Like this guy just seems like a genuine fan.
Yeah, honestly, reading some of his replies now, it makes sense. I love this way. He's like, I don't know how you guys process comics, but what I do first, I open it, I take a black Sharpie, and I cross out all the words.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I love it here too. He said he really threw Somni kind of under the bus here, but brought up a good point where he started out. He said, by the way, my first note on issue 12 is there isn't one goddamn Jordan in the whole issue. And Kirkman said, "Yeah, well, there's a note for Chris," and said, "Is this even firepower?" So that was really funny. They just went back and forth, and Solomon was like, "Oh no, I'm not anti Air Jordan. They're just so complicated," and just saying that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, that's just always funny to see his dislike.
He's throughout the whole thing, he's like kind of poking fun of Chris Somni. He's like, it looks like it's become very evident there have been a spectacular number of mess ups over the course of this book. Like, it looks like RC Coda is something that you absolutely dislike, you know?
No, I know. Yeah, no, it's actually no, it's hilarious. And and he says here, he's like, I'm sorry to say this too. This is Manzukis. He says, Chris, but because of this RC Coda content, I really want there to be an entire issue set on an airplane. And that was just funny to me too. He's like, or a sneaker shop.
Yeah.
So a sneaker shop, and then yeah, Kirkman, you could he points out you could have an airplane crash into a sneaker shop. So yeah, that would definitely be an absolute nightmare for Somni. But it seems like they would enjoy seeing him. It seems like they just like watching this guy suffer. Not really, but like it just in a friendly way. It's kind of funny. But yeah, it's just I love it. He's just geeking out to Somni here. Like all the time. I don't know. Like I get he's obviously worked with Kirkman on Invincible. I don't know about anything else. I wouldn't be surprised just because of
he wasn't in Walking Dead, was he? I don't think he was.
No, I wouldn't be surprised just because of the like people he likes to work with, like just over and over, like build relationships with people. But no, this was just awesome having him on and him just geeking out over Somni. He's like, oh yeah, I have your artist edition of Daredevil on my dinner table right now, and he's like, oh yeah, that's so awesome. Like, so it's just really funny seeing them or just hearing them geek out. And actually one thing I want to point out too, and to this point I don't know like if we knew RC codas were like, I didn't know, like just in my head I didn't know like how they were really formatted or done. But you see here like you actually, or maybe this was just a special one, but you actually see like Kirkman says some sarcasm, and then Manzukis is like, oh yeah, actually he was air quoting that. So it's like they're actually together. They're kind of together recording this in a way. So I think it would be really cool to like get a video of this thing. Like yeah, just get a camera and have them sit down and just talk about this stuff. I think yeah, you could add a link to the front of this thing, still have the transcript. I think that would be fun. Even just one time here in the
put a little QR code to like Skybound or image
QR code.
Channel.
Yeah, we've been reading too much Radiant Black, but it's okay. It's okay. Gotta love it. But no, this is just an awesome RC Coda. Seeing him on this thing, it felt a little more lively, and I guess like it probably would have been, I don't know if they could have done a double size with just the two of them. So it was kind of awesome having
I mean, the rest of the RC Coda is really just them kind of going page by page through the issue, talking about it. One thing that I really took from the rest of the RC Coda, Chris, they're talking about Chao Feng, and Chris Somni says, well, until this issue, Chao Feng hasn't really had a lot of range. He started out as a good guy, and then he was really crazy, creepy, bad guy. In this issue, we got to see him bouncing back and forth, and this is where I started really having fun with Chao Feng. That was pretty cool, too, because it makes sense. He's always been kind of one note, either being really good or really bad, and this was the first time that we saw him struggling emotionally, or as opposed to physically getting his ass beat by
for sure. And also like another pretty big point here is Manzukis says that there's a connection between Master Shaw's statue and the snake at the end. Snakes and dragons seem to me to be related somehow, and Kirkman says they both seem reptilian in some way, and Manzukis says, see, I'm paying attention. So yeah, it definitely seems like there's some sort of relation going on there, which is just adds to the nonstop mystery of this thing. And it's just kind of like a whole, it's like a whole nother, like it's kind of, this chapter's closed and kind of a whole nother arc gonna be going on after this. So kind of what's after this is super exciting, and really can't wait to get into issue 13. It's a really fun one. I went through it, and there's a lot of cool kind of fun moments in there. We got Owen playing golf, little tease there. So that should be fun. But I think that's it. Is there anything else that you saw from this RC Coda, or anything that stuck out to you at all?
Now at least we know Jason is a huge Chris Somney fan, because the rest of it is him literally saying like,
yes,
if this was a TV show, like there would be 5 people doing what Chris Somney does alone,
yeah, no, that was a big part of it. And I just one more thing, I loved his understanding of just saying like how difficult it is like for Somni, and how well he like displays emotion through like he's saying it's easier for him because like, yeah, he gets to talk and do it, but when it's an actual, never mind like a static frame is what he says, like you're just like you're reducing it, and just like the way it flows together, it's super impressive. I've always had kind of a super interest to artists, just because I'm so unartistic myself.
You guys have heard us gush about Chris Somney.
Oh yeah,
basically every episode. This time you get to hear it from Jason himself,
from Rex.
It's not just us.
From Rex Explode himself. Yeah. So next issue he got the family back together and some fun stuff going on. So I think that's gonna do it for today's episode. And if you guys have any questions or anything about any of the issues, you can always message us on Twitter at Firepower Pod, I believe we are. Message us on there. Any thoughts about the podcast? Leave your reviews, rates and reviews, all that good stuff. And thanks for sticking with us. Stay roasty.